Hey everybody, Motorpoet59 here. I want to talk a little bit about treason. The reason I want to bring it up is because it's all over the place lately, and it was all over the place during the Trump administration. While Donald Trump was president, every other word that came out of any leftist's mouth was treason. They actually knew, the people running the Democrat Party, they actually knew that Donald Trump wasn't committing acts of treason, but they said it anyway because the low information people just picked it up and ran with it, like they still do every time something comes down the pike today. But what's bothersome to me right now, as Joe Biden continues to ruin our country, is that he should be impeached for treason. Sorry guys, as much as I despise Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and pretty much every other elected Democrat official in America that I've ever heard of or had to listen to, Joe Biden has committed no treason. He has done nothing that would be an impeachable offense where treason is concerned. I don't actually think that he has done anything that is an impeachable offense. Inflation. He can't be impeached for inflation. There's nothing treasonous about inflation. But what I do hear a lot of conservatives popping off on social media about is the selling of oil from the strategic reserves to other countries. That's not treason. Before we go any further, let's read the dictionary definition of treason. The betrayal of allegiance toward one's own country, especially by committing hostile acts against it or aiding its enemies in committing such acts. The betrayal of someone's trust or confidence, a betraying, treachery, breach of faith. For the purposes of impeaching a president and the accusation of treason, the first one is the one that's in effect here. The other two are more personal things where, maybe your best friend stabbed you in the back or something like that, a breach of faith of that sort. It's important to remember that we are at war with no one right now. We're not at war with Russia. We're not at war with China. We're not at war with anyone to whom they sent any oil. And he is certainly not the first president to sell oil from our strategic petroleum reserves to other countries. Not even close. Bill Clinton in the 90s opened up much of our strategic petroleum reserves in different parts of America. Here in Bakersfield, Elk Hills is about, 20, 25 miles from here. Huge field, and it was part of the Naval Petroleum Reserve. Bill Clinton opened that up in the 90s. I don't remember exactly what year. I didn't look it up. It's not relevant. But they opened it up to public use, and now the companies that run Elk Hills can sell that oil to whomever they like. And it's been going on for a long time. Even prior to that, even prior to them opening it up to the public, presidents have sold oil to other nations, whether they were allies or just countries we did business with, but we've never done it with an enemy. So what Joe Biden has done is no different, especially the paltry amount that he sold. California, I can't remember now. I did a piece on this a while back when he was talking about when they were talking about the Japanese and some of the other countries that are our friends selling us some oil, and it wasn't enough to provide California's needs for one day. It was ridiculous, and this was even less than that amount what Biden sold. And as I said, he sold it to no enemies. And don't think don't get me wrong, and don't think that I am defending this moron or his policies, but it's not treason. In my lifetime, the two closest things to treason that I saw happen was, that I remember, maybe there were others that I wasn't paying attention to, but Ronald Reagan, who was my presidential hero, he and Donald Trump, Ronald Reagan and the Iran-Contra deal. Iran was definitely our enemy at the time, and I was so disappointed when I found out, because when they all started, when the little muttering started about it, and we didn't have social media back then. You only saw the news and read in the papers, and I kept thinking, oh, come on, you guys just hate Reagan. You just can't stand him. And then it ended up being true, and I was very disappointed. I didn't think it was treason or an impeachable offense, and obviously neither did anybody else of any import or a lot of people. Had social media been around then, who knows what might have happened. The next one was Barack Obama, when he gave Iran, who are our sworn enemies. We're not at war with them technically, but they've always been at war with us, or at least since 1979. When Obama gave the what was it? I can't even remember now. $4.8 billion, whatever it was, to Iran in the Iran nuke deal. And that was a dangerous thing. And Iran literally laughed at America, and in general, and at Obama in particular, because he was such a dupe. Those are the only two things that even come close. And I didn't think even that Obama's offense was impeachable, nor did I really think it treason, because I don't know, it just didn't fit the bill as defined here. As conservatives, I have said in other videos, we need to stop taking the high road all the time. It's time to get down and fight in the dirt, in the gutter with the left. We really need to start doing that, because taking the high road for the last 40 years has gotten us nowhere. But there's a difference between getting in the gutter and fighting and using leftist tactics to further our opinions toward a narrative that even if I agree with that narrative, spreading misinformation, I don't like that. I don't like it from either side. I especially don't like it from conservatives, because all it does is prove that those conservatives spreading that misinformation aren't doing their homework. Now, if it's just something that's obviously tongue-in-cheek, that's fine. I don't care about that. I do that too, even if I know it's BS. But if it's funny, it's funny. I don't care. But I'm talking about serious things. And all these people hollering about impeaching Biden for treason, let's focus our energy on things that we can do. Because even if he were to be pulled up for impeachment, the Senate's never going to approve. They're never going to vote to impeach him. It's just not going to happen, especially right now. So let's focus our energies on things we can do. Let's put some facts out there. Let's continue to talk about the economy. Let's continue to talk about the unemployment. The fact is, those are the things we need to be concentrating on. Right now, the economy is the biggest problem facing the United States of America. And I think that, in my opinion, the reason that they're doing the whole pushing for the climate change emergency and whipping COVID out again is that they hope that will deflect some of the attention away from how terrible the economy is right now, and the fact that it's not getting better. And it's not getting better because the Democrats are doing nothing to help it get better. That should be a crime, but unfortunately it isn't. I can't stand Joe Biden. When he was vice president, he was inept, but inept vice presidents are nothing new, and I paid no attention then. So I didn't really hate Joe Biden until he was elected, and I saw what he is willing to do to the United States. But that's why I don't like him. Not because I think he's committed treason. And as conservatives, need to stop reposting things that somebody that you know who's another conservative, they post it on their Facebook, you see it and go, yeah, I agree with that. Do the homework. Do the research. Find out if what that is saying is even remotely true, because a lot of times it isn't. Joe Biden, gas, I did that. No, he didn't. Donald Trump warned us about this when he was in office, during the time, not during his campaign, during the time he was in office, when we all thought he would be easily reelected. He warned us if we didn't do something right then, this was going to happen. Gas was going to get expensive because of other issues around the world. And he tried to right the ship. But as soon as Joe Biden was elected, let's put all the weight on the other side of the ship. This isn't Joe Biden's fault. It's not Joe Biden's fault it got this way, but it is Biden's and the Democrats and the people handling the party that things aren't getting better. There are things they could do by, especially ramping up domestic production would be a huge boon. It would still take a while for it to take effect at the pump, but it would get us going on the right track. But they absolutely refuse to do it because, as I've said a dozen times, they're just too indebted to their environmental overlords. And that's just a fact. Do the research. I've done other videos where I've said this. Do the research. Don't just plaster it all over the place because it fits a conservative narrative. As I said, I might even agree with that narrative, but I never, ever agree with spreading misinformation. All right, what do you think about that? Let me know in the comments below. Shoot me an email at motopoet59@gmail.com. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell if you want to be notified of future content. We'll see you all later.